Hi, I'm Brian McBride. I'm the director of the Longview Metropolitan Planning Organization, also known as the MPO. We just held our public meeting for our modifications to the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Please watch the video and we welcome your feedback. Thank you. First off, I want to give a brief overview of the Longview MPO. So as you can see on the screen, this is the Longview MPO boundary, which the Department of Transportation designates an MPO when an urban area's population exceeds over 50,000. On the screen, you can see the Longview MPO boundary, which include areas of Gladewater, White Oak, and Longview, and everything that is within the blue boundary. More than 400 MPOs have been designated nationwide. MPOs are responsible for planning and programming transportation projects for the metropolitan planning areas. So our job is to coordinate efforts with all stakeholders, agencies, and perform the planning functions and studies, whether that be in-house or through contracts, and present the information to Technical Advisory Committee and the Transportation Policy Board. We do these responsibilities through our plans and programs. The first plan that I would like to go over with you is our Transportation Improvement Program, the TIP. So this is a document that assists in implementing programs in our MPO area. The Longview TIP is a list of local projects to be funded over the next 4 years. I view this as our short-range plan. This means that all projects included in the list are expected to be underway within 4 years following its approval. These are changes in the area that you can expect to go into contract in the near future. It is multimodal, which means that it can include projects relating to highways, bicycle and pedestrian facilities, transit services, and freight projects, as well as the preliminary studies used to define those projects. The Longview TIP is meant to show regional agreement on the need and priority of a transportation project, so all parties involved can be sure they are making the best investment for the community. It is also expected to be consistent with the projects and objectives included in the MPO's long-range transportation plan to ensure that all agencies are working towards the same goal. The Longview TIP is part of a statewide transportation improvement program, also known as the STIP, because the program rules are established by federal law and no project can receive federal funding unless it is listed in the Longview TIP. So the TIP update that I'd like to go over, there's been some administrative changes. In October of 2020, we removed 3 projects from our TIP in order to remain fiscally constrained. Some of you actually may have participated in that comment period for that modification. This past March 2021, our policy board adopted the state's updated performance measures for PM1, PM2, and PM3, and will review the updated TAM targets, or the Transit Asset Management Targets, from Longview Transit next month for approval. After the TAM targets have been approved, we'll administratively update our TIP to reflect this change in the TAM targets. With these mobility project modifications that were done in October, we will also need to update them in our MTP, or more of our long-range plan. So what is the MTP? The MTP is another document that assists in implementing projects in our MPO area. The MTP is a fiscally constrained plan that provides implementation strategies for multimodal transportation improvements, policies, and programs. An important element of our MTP is to determine how federal and state transportation funds should be spent over the next 25 years. This plan considers all modes of traveling when determining what the future transportation system will look like, as each mode has a different impact on how people and goods move throughout the region. The MTP is our long-range plan, and the TIP is our short-range plan. The first 4 years of projects that are listed in the MTP will get put into our TIP for implementation. Now you have a brief overview of the MTP. We'll discuss the purpose of the comment period and the MTP modifications. So our current MTP was adopted in November of 2019, and with modifications to the TIP back in October 2020, brings us to why we have to modify this plan. That being said, pending the approval of the TAM targets, as well as the administrative revisions, will reflect the new updated TIP after the policy board meeting in May. However, we're revising the MTP to reflect the mobility project modifications. Similar to what was done in the TIP, we will need to do this for the MTP. So now I'll go over those mobility project modifications. Briefly highlighting mobility project modifications, these projects include Phase 1 and 2 of George Ritchie, which has a modified let date of year 2025. The major interchange project along Interstate 20, which has a modified let date year of 2025. And 3 phases of the 271 or US 271 Loop 485 Glade Water improvement, as you can see on the screen, the new let dates for that phase project. We're presenting these changes to our policy board after the comment period, so if you have any additional feedback regarding these modifications, I will now show you how to present your information to us. Option 1, you can see the mailing address if you want to mail in your comments. Option 2, you're welcome to email us. Option 3, you're welcome to give us a call with both numbers there. Please submit your comments by May 20th, 2021, as that is the official closing of the public comment period for the modifications that I've presented today. Thank you.